Hello, and Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Hi everyone, welcome back.
Beautiful wife, do you have anything to say to any of the viewers?
It's Rebecca and Jared, and we're just so touched and grateful for all of you who are clicking and subscribing and commenting. It's so wonderful to be with you, and we're so grateful that you're on this journey with us and excited to comment on another video.
Amazing. And in this video, Swami Mukundananda is going to share gems of wisdom, 3 gems of wisdom from the Ramayana. And we as Westerners were not exposed to these stories, these leelas, early on in our lives. Neither of us has read the Ramayana in full. We've read little sections of it and we've heard little stories here and there. But we don't really know fully what to expect. But we just want to learn and grow. And perhaps in the comments, you will help us by offering clarifications or your opinions or thoughts. That would be really wonderful. Shall we start?
Let's get started.
O Lord, stay in the hearts of those devotees who are full of reverence, and in their heart they depend only upon you for their protection. Take a look at Angada. When the bridge was built over the ocean from Rameshwaram to Lanka, and the army crossed over, they resided there. It was night time. Next morning, Ram said, now what strategy should we employ? So Jambavan suggested, my lord, you are most proper in your conduct and in following dharma. You should give Ravan one chance. Ram said, very correct. He called over Angada, Bali Putra, the nephew of Sugriv. He says, Angada, go as my messenger and try and convince Ravan. So Angada is going into the mouth of the enemy. Imagine, all the Rakshasas, demons are there, but Angada is fearless. My Lord has sent me. He is protecting me. So he walked in. He jumped over the wall.
So that's really interesting, that point, as we get into the meat of the story. And I'm on pins and needles seeing what happens next. But you just take that one moment before we proceed to think about situations in my own life where I've been fearful about what's next or the environment. And I wish that in those moments I had thought, my Lord is sending me in. And even though there may be not, demons, although some people do feel kind of demonic, that I am being protected and guided and,
Our doggy is making a little spot appearance. Can you introduce
Babaji?
This is Babaji.
Hi, Babaji Doggy.
So Babaji doggy, and he is a very devotional doggy, and he's bumping around. My love, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Please
that's
continue.
great. Okay, Babaji, pay attention. Our sweet doggy. Just this notion of, I wish that in my life that I had that faith that I'm being sent into this terrible situation, but the Lord is protecting me. The Lord is sending me. So that was very, that's inspiring to just, if I can just take that nugget.
Beautiful. All right.
The wall of Lanka city, it was a golden city. And he walked in. Now the Rakshasas, Rakshasis, they all see a monkey is coming. And they wonder, is he the same monkey? They're referring to Hanuman, who burned the whole city. They start moving out. He says, where is the palace of your king? There, not here. So Angada, seeing the respect they are offering to him, realizes it is not due to him. It is all due to Hanuman. He walks in. When he reached the palace, Ravan's servants informed, one monkey has come. He wishes to meet you. Ravan said, call him in. The moment Angada walked in, Everybody in that court of Ravan, they all stood up. So Ravan said, "Why are you standing up? Sit down." Ravan's rule was that even if a devata comes, nobody should stand up. So automatically they expressed their reverence to Ram Das, the servant of Ram. So Ravan asked Angad, "Who are you?" Angad said, "I am a messenger from Ram and I have come with a message for you." Ravan said, "Really? Where are you from?" Angad said, "I am actually a child of your friend." Ravan said, "My friend? I don't have any friends. Whom are you referring to?" Angad said, "Do you remember there was a monkey in South India called Bali?" Now that rang a bell in Ravan's head, because a fight had taken place between Bali and Ravan, and Bali had kept Ravan's head under his armpit for 6 months. So Angad is reminding him, "Remember Bali?" Ravan said, Yeah. How is he doing nowadays?" Angad said, "Where he has gone, you are going to go in 10 days if you don't listen to me." Ravan said, "What? He is dead."
I wonder if Bolo Bajrang Bali Hanuman Ki, if that Bali is that same monkey, which is, the Bolo Bajrang Bali Hanuman Ki Jay. If anyone knows the answer to that, I'd love to know, because Bali is apparently another divine monkey servant of Ram who apparently held Ravan in a headlock in his armpit for 6 months. That's a long headlock. But I didn't know about Bali, and I wonder if that's where that invocation comes from.
Interesting.
If anyone knows, please comment and let us know. Tell us about Bali.
So Angad said, "Look, you have committed a crime, and the penalty for that is death. But I have come to give you one chance. You go and fall at the feet of Ram and cry, weep, and beg for forgiveness. Ram is kind. He will condone all your offenses and free you. That is your only chance." Ravan said, "You have the gumption to speak to me like this. Nobody does in the 3 worlds. Tell me, if Ram is as good as you are claiming he is, then why did his father take him out of the city and send him to the forest? If he is so wonderful, why is he roaming around in the forest in an ascetic vesh, tapas vesh?" By hearing Ram criticized like that, Angad could not tolerate. He took his fist and smashed it on the ground. "How dare you speak like that?" And the earth started trembling. The crowns on Ravan's head, they fell to the ground. So Angad grabbed 4 and tossed them. And Ravan quickly put the others back on his head. Now here Ram was sitting outside with his army when some unidentified flying objects, UFOs, came. People asked, "What are these?" Ram said, "These are Ravan's crowns. They are being sent as samples by Angad." So Angad said, "I just smashed the ground and you saw what happened. Supposing I had smashed your head, what would have happened?" The courtier said, No, don't do anything like that. Now Angad asked Ravan, "If you are so infatuated by Mother Sita, why did you not go for the Swayamvar?" Ravan said, "I did go there. But then some work came up and I saw the bow is of my Guru Lord Shiv. How can I break it?" Angad said, "In that case, I'll create a new Swayamvar for you."
I don't know what Swayamvar is, do you?
No.
Well, if anyone knows, please clarify. Let us know in the comments and any thoughts and elaborations.
This is his faith in the Lord. He has full conviction that he has been sent for the Lord's work and Ram will protect him. Angad said, I'll make a new Swayamvar for you. He planted his foot on the ground and said, you lift my foot, anybody in this court, and we will lose Sita. Ravan said, wow. He asked some of them, go. Now one after the other they go and catch Angad's feet. But they are unable to move it. Angad said, Ravan, why are you sending these intermediaries? Why don't you come yourself? Ravan now came, approached Angad's leg. He bowed down and grabbed his foot to shake it. And Angad suddenly screamed, if you have to grab anybody's feet, don't grab my feet, grab the feet of Ram. So Ravan became nistej, lusterless. Embarrassed, he walked off. Angad said, we will now meet you in the battleground, the matter is settled. Saying that, he went back. Valmiki ji says, where is your faith? Who is protecting you? Your house, or your bank balance, or the insurance policy? All of these can be snatched away in a moment. If your faith is in these, then you will always have fear. And if your faith is in the Lord, you will be fearless.
Thoughts on that key point?
I can see why the power of recounting these incredible stories from the Holy Scriptures can give us a new depth of understanding, because as soon as Swamiji related it, so he said Angad's faith was in Lord Ram, so he was able to even enter the kingdom of Ravan and not be afraid because his faith was in the Lord. And that's what he didn't rely on his own strength or his weapons or his own ingenuity or his house or his bank balance or his insurance policy. So relating that and then saying, where is your faith? And I think when you ask that of yourself, if we're really honest, you look around the four walls and you say, in these material things that we think are keeping us safe and we think give us safety and security, and they can all be snatched away in a moment. Reassign all of your faith to the Lord and see how that takes you in your life.
And just last night, we had a scare about the insurance policy of our child, Jaya Hanumana. And it all got worked out this morning, but we were fearful and full of fear that she may not be covered by insurance. And in America, you need insurance to get help, any sort of, if something happens to your child. And
the health insurance policy.
We had the health insurance policy, and we were very fearful and emotional because we placed our faith in that. And we even talked about, well, God and Guru are protecting us. This will work out. Let's just trust that it's going to work out.
And then it did.
Yeah, it did work out this very morning. It got formally approved. She's fully back on the policy. There was a thing because things were mailed to an old address and we didn't know about it, which led to the problem. And it's amazing the divine timing of this, because we were fearful because we were putting our faith in the insurance policy. And then we tried to shift it to God and Guru and have trust and faith. And now Swamiji has elaborated on that and cited the Ramayan. Should we look at the second teaching that Swamiji wants to emphasize from the Ramayan?
Absolutely.
This Ram Viraha is the thing that churned Bharat's love. And the nectar that came out is what we relish. That spread his glory throughout the three worlds. And the poison that came out was drunk by Kaikeyi. So Kaikeyi was also actually a great devotee. Ram says, Janani dosha dehi jad tehi sapnehu sadhu sabha nahi jehi. Mother, those people will blame you who have not understood the rahasya of Ram Leela through satsang. Why? When Ram was little, Kaikeyi was so fond of Ram. She would always be around Ram. And then one day, when Ram was in the Kishore Avastha, he said to Kaikeyi that, do you really love me? Kaikeyi said, more than anything else. Ram said, I need to ask something from you. Will you do it? Kaikeyi said, whatever you ask. Ram said, what I am going to ask will be disastrous for you. You will lose your husband and your son will separate himself from you. Kaikeyi said, what is it you are going to ask? Ram said, there are people in the forest who are waiting for me. There is Shabri who has been waiting for so many years in the hope that I will come to her hut. I have to fulfill all those things. I have to do the vad of the Rakshasas. So I need a reason to go into the forest, and you will be the reason for it. When the time comes, I will inspire you and you will create the problem. So Kaikeyi thought that this is most terrible, but if it's what you want, if it's what's making you happy, I am willing. This is the selflessness of her love. If for your sake I need to get a bad name, I don't mind. See, till today, there is no second Kaikeyi. Nobody names their daughter as Kaikeyi. There was one Kaikeyi in Treta Yuga. After that, no mother ever named their daughter as Kaikeyi. And Ram says, Natemba madhyama tata garhitavya kadachana adhyatma Ramayan. He says, Kaikeyi, you are my dear mother and you are going to come along with me to my Saket Lok. So, Kaikeyi made that sacrifice. Sacrifice is what love is all about. Love is not about self-seeking. Love is about sacrifice, always. So Kaikeyi then decided, if I need to do such an atrocious thing, I need to start distancing myself from Ram. And since that day, she would start maintaining her distance. So Ram knows the heart of Kaikeyi. He went and offered his respects to her. He offered his respects to Sumitra because she has made the sacrifice of her son who has come in seva. And he offered his respects to Kaushalya.
So that's really quite a story. When you think about if the Lord asked you to do something in this life that then made your child and husband separate from you permanently, and then you couldn't even be in association with your beloved Lord, but so in your isolation, you were serving the Lord. That's one of the most heartbreaking things I can think. And whatever she did obviously got her a bad name. We'll have to learn about that. But the Lord knows the truth that he had asked her to do that so that he could have his reason to go into the forest, and out of her selfless love and devotion, she complied. For all of us, mothers and wives out there, or even if you're not a mother and a wife and you just know what it feels like to love someone, to be asked to be separated from them and think that you did something wrong. That's kind of the ultimate sacrifice, but for the Lord.
And sounds like similar, like the Abrahamic religions, like Judaism and Christianity have. Abraham has the ultimate sacrifice where God asked Abraham to sacrifice his only son, right?
Right.
Is that Jacob? Sure, we'll call him Jacob. I don't know. But Abraham, famously in the Western cultures, is asked by God after apparently going 100 plus years or whatever it is, never being able to have a child, and then his wife and he finally have a child, and they're so grateful, and then apparently the Lord asks him to sacrifice him, and he can't believe it, and then he eventually makes the choice to choose God over his worldly son, and then God stops him from doing so. Apparently it was a test. I don't know, there seems to be some relationship, I don't know, about this high notion of what do you do when your devotion to God and your devotion to your loving relative who you adore, whether it's your wife or your child or your husband or your mother, what do you do when those are in conflict? I think the vast majority of us choose our worldly relative. So that was a very, very powerful story.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We have one left.
Okay.
Hanuman is such a great devotee with so much of love. But sarala swabhavana man kutilai. Once Sita Mata was doing her shringar, and Hanuman came and asked, Mate, why do you put this sindoor in your forehead? Sita thought how to explain to this brahmachari. She said, when I put this, then Ram is very pleased. Hanuman thought Ram is pleased by the putting of sindoor, then why just put it on the forehead? He went and put it all over his body. And when he came, he was fully red. So Ram said, what is this? He said, Mata told me you are very pleased when we put sindoor, so I have decked myself up with sindoor. And since then they started decking the murti of Hanumanji with sindoor, a symbol of the simplicity of his heart.
How does that touch you, my beloved?
It touches me beautifully, and I remember the first time I went to Rishikesh, maybe 7 years ago or 8 years ago, and I saw a man totally covered in red sindoor, and he had a fake tail, and he came up to people, and they said, it's Hanuman, and I was confused because I thought of Hanuman at that time just as, the ultimate servant of Ram and God in the form of a monkey god. But I didn't know why this man was red, and I was very confused. And he's covered head to toe. And I've since heard that story, but hearing it now is just so sweet, and the simplicity and the innocence of Hanuman. His devotion is so pure that he hears, well, if a single sindoor marking pleases Ram, I'm going to mark my entire form with it. And it's just so sweet. And another example of how different we are, because I know, we often are told or are aware, this is what God or Guru wants of me. And then my mind is always negotiating that. Well, I don't know if I can find the time for that, or I don't know if I'm ready to give that thing up, or I'm very attached to this thing. But Hanuman's the opposite. He's told, this is something that pleases the Lord, I'm going to do it 1,000-fold. So it's beautifully inspirational. Bolo Bajrang Bali Hanuman ki!
Jay! We are so grateful that you've been with us. If this is your first time, thank you for joining us. It really means a lot to us, and we just cherish your community and association. Please do like, click, join, subscribe, comment. We look forward to seeing you very soon. Many blessings.
Jai Sitaram, Jai Hanuman.
Ram Ram.